sealed matches, progression matches, and memes. This show has it all. Welcome to the Seal of Progrichalcos. Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the Seal of Progrichalcos. Last episode was a bit of a mammoth episode, what with all the sketches I had to film and all that in front of it, and so obviously there was a bit of a longer turnaround than usual. Now we're back to our regular scheduled programming. It should be one episode every week or so, as we were doing before. In the last episode, in amongst all the sketches, there were some duels, although there weren't too many, so the score total now looks like this, for myself on 156 and Tobias way behind on 115.
I've never been over 115.
As we also opened a really powerful set in Legendary Collection Joey's World, there were 3 cards that are being automatically just banned, wiped from our collections from this point forward, and those are Dark Hole, Raigeki, and Sixth Sense. Alright, let's move on to today's sets. First up, it's Gladiator's Assault. Now, Gladiator's Assault is really a cracked set. This is the first set where an archetype fully formed from one set only was able to dominate in the metagame. And that is, of course, Cloudians. With their ability to put full counters on monsters on the field and lower their attack and then use the full counters for removal, as well as being able to dodge battle destruction while they're in attack mode, the Cloudians put up first place after first place at YCS after YCS. They were just winning for years. It took way down the line for them to introduce the Xyz monsters for the Cloudian threat to finally be extinguished.
That was the biggest load of crap I've ever heard!
As if, no, the actual really good archetype in this set are the Gladiator Beasts, a set of monsters of various types that essentially after they've battled, they can tag back into the deck to summon another Gladiator Beast monster from your deck, and when they're summoned from the deck by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, they then get to trigger their own personal effect. So you have stuff like the Quarry that goes up to a 2100, Momillo that pops a monster, Bestiari that pops a spell trap, Dimakari that can then attack twice, Diplomas who goes to 2400 defense, and Secutor who can tag into 2 more after he's been tagged into once. These cards are insanely powerful, and with their fusion monster Heraclinus, they are very strong at release. In the rare slot, honestly, there's not too much other than Laquari, Momillo, and maybe even Dark Fusion. There's some wacky things you can kind of do with this and the Dark Gaia. All the Cloudians are useless, as you'd expect. Gladiator Beast Battle Manica is actually a pretty strong equip spell. Super rares are a bit of a letdown, honestly. The defensive tactics is too hard to get to work. Cunning of the Six Samurai wasn't enough to help the Six Sams, and the Alexandrite isn't too good, neither is the Torak, so we don't really actually want to see any of these cards in our pulls. Secret rares, though, things get really spicy. You get stuff like Necroface, which is one of my all-time favourite cards. I remember when I was a cringe teenager, I had a deck on Pojo forums to do with the Arrow Mages that came out in Clash of Rebellion, playing them alongside Necroface, Soul Absorption, Dimensional Fissure, and Macrocosmos, and I believe I named the thread something like Dead Babies Smell Really Nice.
What is wrong with you?
I was trying to be edgy, but it just came across absolutely in poor taste. But regardless, I think this card actually does have a lot of funny applications throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history, so I would love to pull it. Likewise, Royal Firestorm Guards has seen a bit of play in various points. It's quite good in Volcanics when we get to the Blaze Accelerator reload way down in Arc V. And I think it's seen some experimentation recently with the newer Volcanics stuff, and now also in sort of generic fire piles. Soul Taker is also a pretty good bit of removal, especially if you play the Dark Lord Nurse Burn. It's just free removal and also donking the opponent for 1000, but actually in general it's just a kind of a good way of being able to remove any monster you choose. Ultra Rare's Test Tiger, obviously insane for the Gladiator Beast matchup, just allows you to tag into your monsters without having to go into combat, which is great. In the commons, you obviously get the main core Gladiator Beasts, some Cloudian cards that don't really matter, and then some legacy support for Aliens, Ancient Gears, Geminis, and Six Sam. Oh yeah, and of course we get the Light Imprisoning Mirror and the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Both these cards have obviously spent a lot of time in people's side decks. Looking at our pools, honestly nothing above the letter G really matters for the long term, but looking into our actual Gladiator Beast pools, we got 2 Bestiari, which is really good, 3 Dimakari, a couple of Gaodias, 1 Heraclinus, Diplomas, Momillos, Secutors. I'm realising we didn't get any Laquari. So even though we pulled the Heraclinus, we can't actually summon him.
I'm gonna cry around about it all day.
That is very frustrating. Triple Shadow Imp, did we get the 3 Light Imp? Yes we did. 1 release from Stone, that's okay for some rocky decks later down the line. Looking at our sealed deck, unfortunately we did have to plug in some Cloudians in order to sort of flesh out the 40 cards, although they're really bad in this matchup, specifically because the Gladiator piece can just tag in and out, so having monsters that don't die to battle doesn't really matter because it's just free material for the Gladiator piece just to tag in and out from. So Acid Cloud is okay. If he's normal summon, you put a fog counter on it, and you can move 2 fog counters to target a spell and trap on the field and destroy it. Starters similarly can use 2 fog counters to pop monsters. Ghost Fog, if he's destroyed by battle, gets to put fog counters on the field equal to the level of the monster that destroyed it. And then Nimbus Man can just be big depending on the number of fog counters on the field. Poison Cloud obviously is a big problem in Umiruka right now. We have got one Alexander, he's probably the biggest guy we can summon from any of our Gladiator pieces. He's not too good though. 2 Bestiari to pop the back row, 2 Dimakari to attack twice, triple Hoplomus who's a big defender, triple Murmillo for monster removal, 1 Secutor for the dreams, and 2 Test Ape who can also float on into one of our Gladiator pieces when he's low a battle. Then we've got 1 Squirrel to put 4 cannons on the field. Battle Gladius and Battle Halberd and Battle Manic are all really good equipped cards because they return to your hand when your Gladiator piece tags out. Battle Gladius just gives a monster 300 attack. Halberd pops spell traps, and Battle Manica makes it immune to battle. 2 Respite, which can just basically reshuffle our hand, and 1 Return, which can give us back some of our Gladiator pieces from the graveyard. In the traps, we've got 2 Disarm and 2 Parry. These work as a spell negate and a trap negate as long as we've got Gladiator pieces in the hand, and then triple no entry to deny attack. Okay, looking at our opener, we've got a hand stacked full of some of the best Gladiator beasts. None that beat the Gladius plus Dimakari. That is a 1900 attacker that is just too big for us. So we're going to summon our own Dimakari, set down the no entry, try and bait out the battle. Yep, going to have to go for the no entry early on, turn everything sideways, and Tabas are going to set down another monster. Our turn, we can flip the Kaori forward, activate the Respite. We're going to shuffle back the Alexander and the Murmillo. Don't really need 2 of those guys in the hand. And then we get to draw 3 cards. Oh, love to see the Bestiari there. Right, we're going to set down 1 card, summon the best, and then we're going to just go for the best. Kill the Dimakari here. Dimakari and the equip spell will fall off, and then the Dimakari will try and get into the Hiplomas. Now here's where things get a bit convoluted. Because I'm turn player, I do my ones first. So everything is going to go back into the deck. So my 2 get to go back into the deck, and I'm going to tag on into Murmillo and the Alexander. Murmillo is going to be able to kill the Hoplomus, and then Alexander is just going to be a pretty strong 2400 attacker. So I was going to set down a card and go for the Soul Taker, okay?
It's Winky, Blinky, and Soul Taker.
Granting us 1000 life points to get rid of the Alexander. We've drawn another Dimakari, so we're pretty good here. Dimakari is going to clear the Bestiari, and then with our Dimakari, we're going to float on into a Hoplomus. It's going to get boosted up to 2400 defense. The return is going to refresh Tabas's grip here, just when we thought we kind of got him out of the Gladiators. He's going to be pulled straight back in, shuffling up his deck to draw 2. Oh, draw 1, that is actually much worse than I thought it was. Right, Tabas is going to set down a monster pass turn. We're just going to pass, we don't really have anything we want to proactively do. So does Tabas apparently. We're going to set down the Ghost Fog and just pass. Tabas is finally going to tribute down his Secutor. Summon out the Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus!
Alright, he's just a big dude. He's being given the Gladius to be able to attack over the Hoplomus. Yeah, that is fine. Hoplomus dies, and Tabas is not going to tag one out. I kind of see why, because that card is actually really strong. We're just going to set down our Secutor here. We don't really have a convincing out. Oh my gosh, and the Battle Manica too. Okay. We're going to lose our freshly set Secutor, and Tabas is going to pass on over to us. We can fight off the return here, shuffling back the Secutor, the Hoplomus, and the Alexander, all of them into the deck, and drawing another useless Clouding card, which we're just going to set down and pass the turn. Tabas are going to instantly kill our Cloudian. We're going to go for the Respite here, shuffle back the Murmillo and the Hoplomus to draw 3 fresh cards. We like to see the Halberd, and we like to see the Manica. This ensures our Dimakari will live. We're going to crash on in, shuffle our dude back into the deck, and then make our Murmillo, popping the Spartacus. Right, Tabas is just setting and will get in, hopefully. Ooh, Bestiari is huge. We're going to go for the... We're going to summon the Acid Cloud, get 2 counters on it, and then remove 2 to pop one of Tabas's back row. The Parry. Good to see that go, and we're just going to pass. Okay, Bestiari is going to come down, clear out the Ghost Fog, Ghost Fog's effect will activate but do nothing because Bestiari is just going to tag in something else. Murmillo is going to come down and we're going to lose our own Acid Cloud. We're going to summon down the Dimikari, clear the Murmillo, and then Dimmy for the Bestiari, popping Tobias's Disarm. Okay, another return gets fired off. Not that I think there's too much Tobias is able to get out of this, because only one draw hopefully is not going to be good enough, but it is. The Dimikari is huge, clearing out our Bestiari, and he's probably going to float on in to the... oh, just the Hippolymus, okay. We're going to summon our own Hippolymus, clear whatever Tobias has set down. And you didn't just flip this card to use its effect before? Test Tiger's huge!
Such a strange, exotic language.
You had access to all of the Gladiator pieces in main phase 1 and you just set this guy down? Why?
No reason.
Right, we've got our army of Murmillo here. Oh my gosh, are we going to live the dream? Can we tribute them all for the Nimbus Man? That would be okay. It would be really bad to do that, but it would be really funny. We're going to turn a couple of them sideways, go for the Bestiari. Ooh, the Witch Doctor of Sparta.
This is Sparta!
At the end of the battle phase, we're just going to swap on into a Dimikari then. Take 500 damage, then we're going to go for the Battle Manica and putting that on the Dimikari. The Sparta is interesting tech. Oh, we have to do this. I'm going to tribute all 3 Murmillo for the Nimbus Man. Boosted to 2500 thanks to tributing 3 water monsters. Your Witch Doctor is nothing compared to this gaseous boy. And then the Dimikari will hit on him for 1600, shuffle himself back into the deck, and go for the Bestiari to take out Tobias's final back row. We're going to then fire off the Battle Manica onto the Bestiari just to protect him. A Respite gets fired from Tobias, and he's going to shuffle back the Halberd and the Hippolymus. Drawing 3, draw your last pathetic card, Tobias. What hope can it have against my board? Well, the Bestiari is actually a pretty good hope, especially with your own Battle Manica.
Now we're cooking.
Right. Bestiaries will crash, and then the Murmillo will come out, killing our Bestiari and then getting equipped with the Halberd. Yeah, we can't actually beat this. We still can't 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 beat this. We're just going to summon the Poison Cloud, kind of show Tobias that we've got a scary cloud. Tobias are going to pass. Oh my god, thank god I actually played a monster. Okay, we can summon down the Alexander, and now we can actually not quite deal with the Murmillo, but use our Alexander to become... oh yeah, we use all our Murmillo. How do we beat Murmillo without any Murmillos left in deck?
It can't be done.
Right, Hoplo will crash into Hoplo, and Tobias will bring out the Spartacus. And then the Murmillo and the... what the hell is even going on here? Murmillo and Spartacus are... what? The... oh yes, is summoned. Okay, this is like a real card. When this card destroys monster battles, then it can inflict damage upon equal to the defense destroy monster. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked, was that the abstract summon 2. That is a very big boy. We're going to disarm the Manica, getting rid of our Secutor to negate. Gladius is fine. Oh, and the Halberd. We're going to set down the Testate and just pass the turn. Colosseum Cage is going to get fired off, so every time a monster is summoned from either deck, all ADVC monsters gain 100 attack and defense for each of those counters. Fair enough. Right, so Gladius is going to try and combat. We're going to go for the no entry. Turns our Nimbusman sideways, which does kill him. But hopefully, this guy's only got 1500 attack. Hopefully we can find a way past 1500 attack. We cannot, but we are going to go for the Hoplo, into the Hoplo, take a bit of damage here, and then use the Battle Halberd to pop Tobias' own Halberd, shuffle the Hoplomus back into the deck for the Dimikari, and then we're going to give the Dimikari the Battle Manica. Gladiator's return is going to get fired off by Tobias. I think I probably should have won this game a while ago, but I decided to be funny with Nimbus Man instead of just keeping my Murmillo online. Testate will fall to Laquari, and the Dimikari and loads of things are just going to get shuffled back. Tobias is going to summon out the Spartacus. and the Mamillo popping our final monster. Just to add insult to injury, a second Gyodias is going to get summoned. Well, we've got the hot blow that lets us live a turn. Not living anymore. Wow, I really let that get away from me. That was embarrassing, really. Okay, we apparently still have our Claudians in the deck, even though they basically did nothing aside from die to Gladiator beasts. Right, the Bestiari will get summoned, clear out the Ghost Frog, doesn't really do anything, because Ghost Frog is rubbish, and then the Laqueri will get summoned out, being boosted by his own effect to 2100, plus the Battle Manica. Well, we can go for the Respite. We're going to shuffle back our own... Oh. Well, it doesn't matter, we're not going to shuffle back anything because Disarm is going to negate that. I'm not sure whether it works that way. Do we really lose the cards there?
Yes. Yes, we do.
The Query will turn our test tape into a Mamillo, but Tabas's own Mamillo is going to be able to deal with our Mamillo before we can get any sort of chain going. Do we have enough in the grave for the return? We do not. Well, we're kind of out of this game already, especially when Soul Taker is coming down as well, and we're just going to take a lot of damage here as Tabas are going to be going into the Laqueri and to a Dimikari. A little late to draw Mamillo. And yeah, Mamillo's just going to die, and then we're going to get double attacked by the Dimikari. Tabas electing not to float on into anything. Well, we've got the return here, so we at least can fire that off, shuffle some dudes back into our deck, and hope we draw, I don't know, like Waigeki. That ain't it, Chief. Right, we're going to summon down the Stratus and proudly die on our cloud. We're moving now on to Phantom Darkness, which is probably the set that changed Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever. Obviously, that's a cliche line that gets thrown about everywhere these days. Every set changes Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever. But actually, for Phantom Darkness, it basically was true. This is a set where special summoning ceased to be special.
Whoa, that's pretty deep.
And the main reason behind that is this card here, Dark Arm Dragon. Can't be normal summon set, must be special summon from your hand by having exactly 3 darks in your graveyard. You can banish a dark from your grave, then target 1 card on the field and destroy. And there are no once per turns anywhere on this guy's text, so if you've got 2 in hand and 3 darks in the grave, you can just summon both down, banish 3 from the graveyard, pop 3 cards in the field. Priority did still exist, so you could always guarantee at least you'd get 1 pop out of this guy, and he's just huge. Back in the day, this card commanded like a price tag of like £120, dollars, for a single copy, let alone a playset.
He's expensive, but he's good.
The other perpetrators of the special summons are no longer special, include things like the Dark Grepher, which is just an easy way of dumping darks to the graveyard, so you can actually summon the Dark Arm Dragon basically every single turn one, as well as things like Lone Flower Blossom that could turn into any plant monster ever, Super Poly that could just fuse away boards into whatever you wanted, and then the other dark monsters like the Dark Nephthys and Dark Knight Parshath. This set is just stacked full of incredibly strong cards. I mean, looking at the super rares, for instance, Armageddon Knight, this card is insane. One of the best monsters ever printed for maybe nigh on like 10 years after its release. Like this card was still seeing significant play in like 2017, 2018, where I believe it was limited to 1 because of stuff like the Phantom Knights, sort of just dark shenanigans, Link monsters. This card is very strong. Cyber Valley is a funny card, just a decent way of stalling and being able to just get some draws, not too usable outside of sealed maybe. Doomsday Horror, I used to love this card as a kid. I got this as a super rare, it was one of my first sort of early high rarity cards, and it's kind of cool. If you've got a load of dark monsters that are banished, this card can just be huge, but honestly not too useful. Obviously, your Bellline debuts here, and again, not very good until the recent supports in Phantom Nightmare, but they're obviously pretty high value collector's items. In the rares, as Tekapede just mentioned earlier, Lone Flower Blossom of course still sees play to this day as a mandatory 3 of in any plant list. Super Poly, of course, for a long time this card was limited due to how strong it was. Obviously now I believe it's at 3 and is actually even searchable in the new Yubel stuff, so very great side deck option. Offering to the Snake Deity is funny, it's like a reptile version of Icarus Attack, but not quite as usable. And then the secret rares, obviously Dad, Dark Grepher, Dark Orc Zerato, Goblin Zombie even was insane, Dark Creators, great card, Rainbow Neos has seen a couple of stints of playability. In the ultra rares you got stuff like Horus, Nephthys, Parshath, Super Ancient Deep Sea King, Coelacanth, very strong card in sort of any of these kind of fish crazy brews. I love this boy.
I knew you were a scaly too. Welcome to the club.
Giggity.
A Law of Darkness, obviously a staple, 3 of in basically any dark deck until kind of recently, where it's kind of fallen off a bit. Speaking of falling off, there's Drastic Drop Off. Beginning of the End is a very funny draw spell, but does require a lot of setup, although not too much in some more modern combo decks, but back in the day it was a bit too hard to pull off. And Metal Reflex Line was just a huge trap monster. In the commons, there's nothing too relevant here, aside from some good Gladiator support cards in Gladiator Proving Grounds, and none once per turn, just free search of one of their monsters. Gladiator Beast Archfiend Shield is okay, Andal is a decent like one of in the deck, and Darius obviously a very strong way of being able to recur your Gladiator Beast from the grave. There are also 2 commons that I tried to break for the longest time, the Calculator and the Immortal Bushy. They seem really cool, their effects are great, but they just never work too well in practice. Right, let's check the collection to see how well we pulled. Alright, so as we're going down, we're obviously looking crucially at the dark cards, and yeah, we didn't get anything good. Dark Crusaders, Dark Illusion, Greed, and Grimoire. None of the really cool cards. We did get the Doomsday Horror and the Fires of Doomsday, both of which are pretty funny cards. We've got enough of all the Gladiator Beast stuff, which is great. A couple of Giga Plants, which are okay. Rainbow Neos, we got 2 of. That would be in the money if that was real life. If I had a mulligan system, I definitely would have made use of it here, because that is a really trash set of cards from this set. We did pull Grey on the commons, but nothing in the higher rarity slots. Hopefully Tobias pulled just as bad as I did. Okay, so I must admit it was honestly a struggle to find 40 cards I wanted to actually play for this deck. We've got Triple Andal just as a big dude, 2 Infernal Queen Archfiend, who again is just a big lady. 2600 attack for 2 tributes is basically the best attacker we actually have access to, so we kind of have to play her. 1 Vampire's Curse, who if he's a battle can summon himself back in the next standby phase, gaining 500 attack. 2 Castle Gate, this card I think is actually one of the better cards in the set. It was a rare, so hopefully Tobias maybe didn't pull it or might not be expecting it. So he can't be destroyed battle, and once per turn if he's in attack mode, you contribute a level 5 alone monster to inflict damage upon equal to that monster's original attack. The key point is that he just can't be destroyed battle, so 2400 defense, hopefully we can just sit on this guy and hopefully find some way of winning the game if we're in a sort of a stall fest. 3 Gemini Lancer, this guy's just 1800 attack, but if you normal summon again, he has piercing. 1 Black Velocity, this guy's just Steamoid. 3 Blue Thunder T45, if he destroys a monster by battle, we get to summon an option token, which is okay. 3 Darius, we don't actually have a way of using his effect, but he's just a 1700 attacker that we can search out via the Proving Ground, or we can give the Archfiend Shield to make him immune to battle destruction once. 2 Future Samurai, if he's normal summoned again, we can banish a monster from the graveyard to actually blow up monsters on the field, so that's actually a decent way of removing things, but obviously it does take 2 turns. 3 Dark Crusader, this guy can just get really big, we can just dump as many darts from our hands through the graveyard just to boost this guy up, and we're playing a decent number of darks that don't really do anything, so that could be fun. And then 3 Obsidian Dragon, who's just a 2100 defender. 1 Files of Doomsday just to get some defensive tokens. 2 Unleash Your Power.
What if I don't want to?
When this is activated, we just get our Gemini monsters' effects without having to do their additional normal summon, although they do get set face down at the end phase. But it could just be a way of enabling us to use Future Samurai just to pop one of Tobias's big dark monsters that we might otherwise have no outs to. 2 Cry Havoc, this is okay, we can banish 1 monster from our graveyard to get an additional normal summon for the turn, very good for the Geminis and just obviously building up field advantage. 1 Escape from the Dark Dimension, this is really cool with the Cry Havoc. Obviously we don't have any of the big dark monsters that actually actively banish cards from graveyard, but with Cry Havoc we could banish, let's say, the Imprisoned Queen Archfiend and then revive her with the Escape from the Dark Dimension, could be really funny. And then 3 Gemini Trap Howl, so if one of our Gemini monsters that we have re-normal summoned gets destroyed by battle, we get to just destroy all monsters Tobias controls. So yeah, kind of a wacky deck list, not obviously optimized for what Phantom Darkness Sealed could be, but we didn't get any of the bombs, so we'll just have to make do with this. Alright, let's see how we do. Well, we've drawn a very defensive hand with the double Obsidian Dragon and the Files of Doomsday, but not too much we can actually mount on the field offensively. It looks like Tobias has also drawn pretty badly, just setting down 3 cards. Right, we're going to go for the Andal, let's get some damage in. 3 damage is pretty good, especially when we don't really have any big ways to close out the game. We're going to follow that up by setting down the Files of Doomsday and the Gemini Trap Hole and passing. Tobias just absolutely just gives us a free turn here. In his end phase, we're going to fire off the Files of Doomsday, summoning them both down, and then in our turn we contribute 1 off for the Vampire's Curse. I mean, we're just going to deal another 3900 here, Tobias. What is going on with your hand? Alright, he's finally drawn a monster. Right, we're going to go for the Gemini Lancer and just beat on in. Right, let's see whether Tabas is able to do anything better this game. Right, he's already set down a monster first turn, so maybe he actually has something cooking here. But we're going to go for the Blue Thunder T45, see whether we can clear this. Is the Obsidian Dragon, so yeah, we cannot. So we're going to take 400 damage here and just pass on over. Down comes the Andal, and there goes our T45. Right, we're just going to set down our Obsidian Dragon, that's the best we can do. Calculate, so...
Grab your calculators, settle in.
Oh. The 3000 attack calculator is going to come down. That is a huge problem. Right, we're going to set down the Darius along with our Files of Doomsday. We're also just going to set another monster, clear out the Darius, and then we thankfully do have the Files of Doomsday to shield off some damage here. Well, we have drawn the Curse. Right, we're going to tribute that off for the Curse. Use Curse to clear out the Andal. That does at least lower the calculator's threshold, but of course if Tabas has another level 4 monster, we still lose. Oh. Okay, the Dark Horse comes down. Right, he's going to kill my Curse. I'll take 1000 here. Thankfully the Curse will come back next turn. And with an extra 500 attack, up to 2500, and we're going to use his boosted attack to clear the Obsidian Dragon. In the main phase 2, we're going to set him down and set one card down. In the main phase 2, we're going to tribute him off to set down our Castle Gate. Thankfully, that walls off the Dark Horse for a while, or we can just keep passing. So we're also going to go for the Proving Ground, grabbing from that to hand, the Andal, and summoning down the Andal and passing. We're just going to set down a monster, pass a turn. Proving Ground again, grabs the second Andal, our Gemini Lancer will fall. We're going to go for our Proving Ground, grab an Andal. I might just put the fast forward on here because I don't know how Tabas is going to clear the Castle Gate. We're going to crash our Andals and then we're going to lose the Andal to the Dark Horse. We're going to go for the Blue Thunder, clear the Regenerating Rose. That just generates 1,000,000 tokens. Obviously we're just losing everything here bar the Castle Gate. That is fine. We're just going to deck Tabas out. He's got one less card in his deck than we do, so maybe we win that way. We're going to flip, go for the Andal, clear the other Andal. Going to take some more damage here from the Dark Horse. Go for our Gemini Lancer here. Pierce one over the Regenerating Rose. That's going to summon out 2 tokens. And then Tabas is going to go crazy and just keep killing our Andal. We're putting ourselves quite low here. We're going to set down a card, set down our second Castle Gate. And now Tabas has the absolutely insanely busted Regenerating Rose. So it has the absolutely insanely busted Calculator and Legendary Fiend. But there isn't too much Tabas can do. We're going to go for the Gemini Trap Hole here. Nuke his entire board. And then summon down our Dark Dude, banish a dude, banish a couple of dudes, get his attack high enough, and clear Tabas's Samsara Lotus. Hopefully Tabas is all out of gas, because we are still cooking, baby.
Pun.
We're going to keep attacking just with our Dark Crusader. We don't want to commit the other one for some reason, just because something like this could happen. Alchemy Cycle with Blackfoot. What the hell does this even do? The original full face monster, you can hold on to 0 until the end phase. Each time on the hand, it's the original reach 0 this effect. Is all about in the graveyard. Draw one card. So okay, Tabas is doing that as a what the hell is going on? Sinister Seeds.
The evil seed of what you've done.
He's going to summon out some seed tokens. 4 seed tokens?
That's insane.
In the end phase, draw a card thanks to the Alchemy Cycle, and then oh, okay, Dark Nephthys is in my future. That is a bit of a problem. We're going to discard the Dark Crusader just to buff up our dude a bit more, and then we're going to go for the Cry Havoc to get an additional normal summon of the Future Samurai, and then use Cry Havoc again, get an additional further normal summon, popping Tabas's monster, and then we're going to be able to clear out 2 tokens. In Tabas's standby phase, the Dark Nephthys will return to the field, and pop our Cry Havoc, and then we are going to lose the Future Samurai here. Thankfully we have the Gemini Trap Hole, popping Tabas's board, and is that all she wrote? Yes, it is. For our one and only progression deck this episode, we are channeling the spirit of Tyranno Hasselberry himself and bringing down the Dino DNA deck.
It's time to go commando!
It's not a good deck. I'm just going to say that flat out. This deck is pretty garbage, but in our effort to play as many sort of GX character decks as possible, we figured we have to bring the dinosaurs at some point, as I do really like them. although obviously at the moment they're not really a cohesive strategy. Baby Stegosaurus, lots of you will know and love or hate, depending on your relationship with the dinosaur decks of more modern era, as just a really cool card that if it's destroyed by card effect, gets to summon a level 4 lower dino from the deck. Obviously Lost World and Soul Eating Overwrapped allow you to do that in Archetype years down the line, but back in this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! There aren't too many ways of destroying Stegosaurus with your own card effect, but we have a couple of traps that can allow us to do this, but they're not very good. For our other monsters, we are playing the 1 Black Velocity, 1 Dark Triceratops, 1 Tribute Monster with Piercing with 2400 attack, 2 Destroyosaurus. Now in a normal dinosaur list, this would actually search you a field spell, which could buff your guys by 300.
But there's no way that this is normal.
We don't have the field spell because that was locked behind a structure deck, so this guy's just an 1800 vanilla basically. 2 Gigantes just as a way of banishing our Earth Dinos from the graveyard to make a big dude. 3 Hydrogeddon, this is actually a good card. 2 Hyper Hammerhead, 2 Tyranno Infinity. This again is a bit of a cope card because it's very unlikely that we're actually going to have a lot of dinosaurs banished, but we have 1 spell in particular that might help with this, and then 3 Sabersaurus. For the spells, we're playing Double Broken Moon, 2 Gaia Power just to boost all our Earths even further, 1 Graceful Charity, a Mystical Space Typhoon, Pot of Greed, and the Premature Burial, as well as 2 Soul Release. This is just a good way of banishing 5 cards from our graveyard, either to fuel our Tyranno Infinity or to just get rid of Tobias's key cards. Double Terraforming to search either the Gaia Power or the Umiruka if we wanted to go for the Hydrogeddon line. And then in the traps, things get really spicy. We've got 3 Assault on GHQ and also 1 Destruction Ring. Now these cards are terrible, but they do allow us to trigger our own Baby Stegosaurus. So Assault on GHQ allows us to destroy one of our own monsters to mill 2 of Tobias's cards, and then Destruction Ring allows us to destroy the Stegosaurus to inflict 1000 damage to both players. Basically they're just garbage cards that have never seen any actual real play, but they do work at popping the Stegosaurus and allowing her to turn into something like the Hydrogeddon or the Tyranno Infinity, which could just be really funny. We've got 2 Call of the Haunted and then 2 Fossil Excavation as more Graveyard Revival. Right, let's head on into the replay and see how we do.
Let's all shout at the same time and hope for the best. Yeah!
Okay, well looking at our opening hand, it looks like we're going to be somewhat rescued by the broken DM staples, and speaking of, Tobias is firing off the painful choice. Okay, that is not what I was expecting. Oh, I guess we are playing the Cucullin deck again. That is a pretty good way of getting a lot of fodder for him. Grant him to go Gaga Gigo, because why not, and then Tobias is going to go fire for another Foolish Burial, sending out another big dumb idiot from the deck. Down comes an Archfiend Soldier along with the Advanced Ritual Art to make the Cucullin. And then the Cucullin is going to banish a Sengenjin to go up by 2750 up to 3250 attack points. Pretty strong. Right, our turn. Book is okay. Right, we're just going to go for the Graceful Draw 3. Pitch the Destroyosaurus and the Mystical Space Typhoon, and then we're going to go for the Pot of Greed. Probably should have done Pot first, as they've given us more options in hand that we could have discarded. We're going to book the Cucullin, setting it face down, and then just going to go for our Terraforming, firing from deck to hand the Umiruka. Fire that down, and then Hydrogeddon is a nice clean out to both of Tobias' monsters.
Get my bib, it's barbecue time!
We're going to clear the Archfiend Soldier first, and then summon out the second from the deck, which can clear out the Cucullin, and summon the third from the deck. We're going to attack on him with the third one, and just pass the turn. Quite funny that even if Tobias does summon another Cucullin, Soul Release is actually a really good counter. Oh, apparently we don't even need to worry about the Soul Release, that is just the game. Game 2, Tobias is going to still go first. I honestly think your deck is better going second, but whatever.
You know best.
No broken DM staples, and Tobias is just firing off the Shock Trooper pass. Well, we've got the Gaia Power, but that actually really doesn't do too much. It just buffs his own Shock Trooper. Thankfully, we have the Hyper Hammerhead, which is going to pass the turn there, bait Tobias into having to attack to benefit. We're going to book the Shock Trooper, sending him face down on his attack deck, and then the Archfiend Soldier is unable to clear. Oh. Then Tobias is going to go for the Pot of Greed to draw 2 more, followed up by the Graceful Grace of God. Right, June and Sabersaurus go down, and an Emblem of the Awakened to make Cucullin. Banish the Gene Warped Wolf to make a 2500 dude. Oh, okay, sorry, we're just doing it. Get Kang over here.
Time isn't what you think.
Tobias apparently did all that before going into combat and attacked with the Cucullin first, so that is what I set down with the book, and then the Alien Shock Trooper was the one that attacked the Hyper Hammerhead, blowing him up and returning to hand. Right, I'll somehow sort all of that out with the magic of editing. No, I won't. Right, we're going to banish the Hyper Hammerhead, summon down the Gigantes, and then go for the Hydrogeddon here. Hydrogeddon is going to clear out the Cucullin. We're going to summon out a second Hydrogeddon from the deck. And then the Gigantes will clear Soldier. And then we'll get 1600 direct. Or not, apparently. Right, another Awakening is going to get fired off, and Tabas is going to just summon down a second Cucullin. Seems pretty good. And then he's going to use Cucullin, banishing the Gigo to buff himself up to 3450. We're going to not lose Gigantes normally. We're going to go Assault and GHQ for some reason, milling 2 of Tabas's cards, taking some damage, and then we're going to lose both Hydrogeddons.
They're as good as extinct!
I was going to say I'm pretty much out of the game, but the pot isn't too helpful. Right, love to see the Graceful Charity. Oh, we have the Baby Ceratosaurus combo! Oh, you're so wrecked, Tobias. You're so wrecked. We're going to set down a card and set down a card in the back row. Pass the turn.
Great helium.
Shock Trooper. Get ready to be assaulted, dude. We're going to go for the Assault on GHQ. Popping our own Baby Ceratosaurus to mill Tobias' Graceful Charity and go Giga. And then Baby Ceratosaurus will trigger, summoning out the Sabersaurus from the deck. The all-star vanilla coming at ya. We're going to fire off the Book of Moon, sending down the Shock Trooper, ensuring our Sabersaurus lives. Oh, it's over terraforming. We're going to grab the Umaruka. And now, Hydra, get on this, Tobias. Boom. We're going to Hydrogeddon, clear the Shock Trooper, summon out a second one from deck. And then him and the Sabersaurus are going to rage on down, dealing a whopping 4,000 damage to you. Halving your life points just like that. Boom, baby, I got Dino DNA pumping through my veins. Next episode, we'll be opening Duelist Pack 6, Jesse Anderson, and Duelist Pack 7, Jaden Yuki 3. Both of those sets are not very good. They're just more Crystal Beast cards and some evil heroes, I believe, are in the Jaden Yuki pack. So yeah, gonna be a very bad sealed match, let me tell you. But hopefully the progression matches do step up a bit. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and do please subscribe to stay up to date with more episodes of The Seal of Progrichalcos. Goodbye.